All right, so here I have this question, and the question is, how many moles are contained in 12 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7? Given that the relative atomic mass of potassium is 39, the relative atomic mass of manganese is 54, and the relative atomic mass of oxygen is what, 16. So again, the question is, how many moles are contained in 12 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7? So the first thing I would want to do here is to write the chemical formula for potassium tetraoxomanganate 7. So the chemical formula for potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is KMNO4. All right, this is the chemical formula for potassium tetraoxomanganate 7. All right, so the next thing I would want to do is to look for the relative molecular mass of this compound. So the relative molecular mass of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is equal to the summation of the relative atomic masses of all the atoms, of all the elements. All right, so this is K plus manganese plus 4 atoms of oxygen. All right, so the relative atomic mass of potassium is what? Is 39 plus the relative atomic mass of manganese is what? 54 plus 54. The relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So 16 times 4 atoms of oxygen that I have here. All right, so this is 39 plus 54 plus 16 times 4 will give us what? 64. So when you add this, everything will be equal to 157. All right, 157. So the relative molecular mass of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is 157 what grams. All right, so we know that one mole of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7, 1 mole of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is equal to the relative molecular mass of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7. And we calculated the relative molecular mass to be what? 157. So that's 157 what? Grams. All right. So in other words, 157 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is equal to 1 mole. All right. So the question is, how many moles are contained in 12 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7? So if 157 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is equal to 1 mole, then 12 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 will be equal to 12 times 1 divided by what? 157. And that will be equal to 12 times 1 divided by 157 would give us 0.076 mole. So that is approximately 0.08 what? Moles. All right, 0.08 mole. So if 157 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 is equal to 1 mole, then 12 grams of potassium tetraoxomanganate 7 will be equal to 12 times 1 divided by what? 157. And that will give us 0.076 mole, which is approximately 0.08 mole. So this is our answer. All right. It's a very simple and a straightforward question.